Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are now, I hope, live. Should be working. Max and Hobbs are here with me today.
Hello.
And we should probably show off a little bit of what we've been doing over the past week or so.
Sweating!
We've definitely been doing a good amount of that. Sadly. The first thing I'll need to do is I'll need to make sure that my game is updated to the latest version. Because there's been a push or two, to my knowledge. All that. Make sure I've got the latest upload. I've changed my backgrounds to be a little revolving background as well, so you should be able to see some of the screenshots that I like from both AOTF and Star Trek Armada 3. Always nice. Just taking a look at what the lads are saying on the stream. Hey Centurion, hello Barnaby, Flame,
Barnaby.
Spring Griffin, Tau, hello.
I am one.
They took some of the guys on YouTube are talking about Golden Cat, and was he all about the Dominion or was he all about Cardassia first? I think.
Or did he not negotiate the deal with the Dominion?
I think he was very changeable.
Great again.
I think Ducat was very changeable, dependent on how he could benefit the most. That's something that was pretty.
Yeah, that's
pretty uniform
close.
to Ducat, sadly. I think
Well.
I do think he loved Cardassia, but I think he just loved himself more.
He loved power.
Well, who doesn't?
I don't know. I really don't know. You tell
I'm
me.
good, Griffin. Oh, hey Inferno, how you doing, my man? Are you the only one there on Twitch? Oh, that's a little bit sad, Centurion. Guys, if anybody wants to watch on Twitch or you want to follow me on Twitch, I very occasionally do some exclusive things on net.
Also, less delay when it comes to the chat.
Less delay when it comes to the chat, there is that as well. If I just open this up, you'll notice an immediate change. We have had a look at the background from the start menu, and we've put a new one in, which is absolutely gorgeous. Connor did this, Killer DC, and Hobbs has beautifully implemented it.
I wouldn't say beautiful.
Hobbs has terribly implemented it.
It was horrendous.
Hobbs, you're very quiet all of a sudden.
Good.
I'm going to make you loud.
Good.
Hobbs. Good.
Give you good.
Let's just hang on. Looking at the other screen. Hang on, folks. Turn Hobbs up to about 150 odd %. All right, give me some mouth words, Hobbsy.
Upwards, things and stuffs.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I forgot Hobbits.
Right, so I wanted to show you some of the other little options. Hey, Krolter, how are you today? And hello, Ancient One. Have we seen the Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer? I haven't, Ancient One.
/care. This is an AOTF dev stream and you're talking about...
Hey, people ask me questions. I am honor bound to answer all the questions that are asked.
But you don't have any honor.
Let's take a look at our options menu as well. So as you can see, Hobbs has been through all of this as well. Got the interface, video. We've got a unique one in now. Sound. He's made his own little sliders. You did that the other day, didn't you?
Yeah.
I like them.
Leaders.
Simplistic. They work correctly, which is nice. Effects. And once again, we have the same thing in there. I like that. I like what you've done with these little, what are they called? I don't know. They're almost like little ranking insignia, aren't they?
Yeah,
Stuff and
I think I used it on one of the other, like the game setup screens for either a difficulty or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
It
It's
looks
good.
like it.
And then, of course, we've got manage files, which are manage your save games. Delete all. No, don't do that. And then we've got mods, which is always nice. It's got our little Stellar Parallax logo there, just to remind you which mods you should be playing.
Only Stellar Parallax.
Only Stellar Parallax. And of course, we've got new game, load game, yakety schmackety in there. Player setup. You can see that we've got our flags put in. I think there's still a little bit more to do there, isn't there, Hobbs?
I think there might be a file that's not been pushed then, because on mine it looks fine. So.
It might be something that I've done.
Did you break it?
Probably.
It's plausible, isn't it? Because I know that when I commit, I've got an unknown version file. So it might be that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. We might have to look into that then.
No, it's probably me. I think that's probably my end. I suspect that the unversioned file is something in textures. In fact, let's see if I can. Let's do a quick git sync. If I do commit now, Buttons, backgrounds, DDS. So if I cancel and I go into textures, find buttons, backgrounds, DDS. There it is. Or is that a Photoshop file? Oh no, it is DDS. Right, I'll delete that. Didn't like that.
Where is the file?
Not liking it.
I'll exit and then come back in, and that should resolve it. I think the reason that I did that is that I wanted to hide particular elements from the UI, so I knew what I was looking at.
Ah, okay.
Spring Griffin says, I love this game and you're awesome. Well, we think you're awesome too. Hey Steon, how are you? Is CZ the Czech Republic? Is that right? Oh no, it's still the same for me.
We'll have to see if it's affected Max's or not.
Hmm?
Well, later on when you load the game, if you go to the player, what is it, player setup, some of the flaggy flags have a weird background.
Yeah, there's a bit in
thing.
between them that isn't very happy. Do I know who the XP Gamers is? Yes, I do. Captain Shack is a friend of the mods. Alright, before we go and have a look at what Max is doing, I think we'll just go into a new game, go into a tiny one. Today we will play as the Romulans. Doesn't really matter who we're against, so let's click OK. Why you gotta break all the things, says Qualter. I know, I can't help it, it's just my thing. Been up since midnight EST? Good lord, why have you been up so long, Qualter? What's happening there? Oh, let me know if you like or dislike the music, folks. I've just chosen a random playlist from Epidemic Sound, so we'll see if this ends up as any good. It's supposed to be a chilled out one, and I like the idea of that. Is the screen out of focus for anybody else? It certainly shouldn't be. When I'm in the menus, the bit around the outside will be out of focus. We blur the edging in order to ensure that you're focused on the correct bits. It may be that you're not able to utilise the correct resolution, which is 1080p on YouTube, possibly. Depends on how fast you're into your tinterwebsies.
Your Tinder webs is what?
Tinderwebs. Swipe right, baby.
Always want to see you.
Of course, of course. That is an extremely loud motor vehicle.
We've had some experience with those just earlier now, haven't we?
My house is my entire house. My windows are double glazed, and I still get those kind of noises occasionally from cretins.
It's because you've got your windows open.
No,
Which is
they're
perfectly
these
valid
ones
idea.
here are closed. I closed them. Oh, that's strange rumble. I don't know why that happened. Right, hopefully we'll load in shortly. As I say, we are in rich text mode, so it does take a hot minute, as they say. We've still got a lot to do for the Romulans, as you can see. A lot of their buildings aren't done. But what we wanted to show you is a new ship for them. So if I go Control-Shift dot, and I go to change galaxy, I'd like to go overrides and all entities detected. And maybe this class L over here, something like that. Got some unknown cruisers. They're a good one to fight. So if I click here, come back and go to spawn entity. There it is. Active player. It is a frigate, isn't it? The new ship that we got in.
Frigate Siege.
And it's the siege frigate, which
Frigate
just
Siege.
completed the other day. So we've got a few of them. We haven't got their proper voices in yet, but this is the Cabbage. It's got a new
called
name
the
now.
Cabbage.
It's called the Osprey now, but it was originally called the Cabbage in Starfleet Museum. So this is a
Fuck,
new.
we didn't use that.
Hmm?
Thank fuck we didn't use that, right?
Indeed.
Cabbage Cracker. What was the other ones?
Clavicle was one.
Cataract.
Cataract, yeah. Well, as you can see, folks, this is a rather uniquely shaped vessel. It is the planetary siege vessel.
My cabbages!
My cabbages, indeed. Looks like a radish, says Centurion.
Now that's we've also got the Vegeta, the Zapper, the Nappa, the Raditz, and the.
Yeah, and these guys have got quite a unique way of firing their weapons. They fire them like a shotgun.
Helicopters, shotguns.
Oh my god, that's so awesome.
It's really cool, isn't it? It's very different from what we usually use.
Blop, blop. I was thinking of changing the sound effect to like a.
I'm pleased that you didn't.
Yeah, same.
The Crota says it looks like the spinning part of an electric toothbrush. Also looks like some sort of massage wand, doesn't it?
Some kind of massage wand, I don't know what you mean. Now, should we take a look at their siege weapons as well?
You have to make that owned by the enemy player. You have to change players and colonize the planet as the enemy, and then.
This is all very
As it requires effort.
The change active player. We'll do that. How do we colonize a planet? I can't remember.
There's a change on the change
entity. Is it change entity?
I think so. One of them is. There's an option somewhere underneath there.
I think I just saw colonize.
Black hole sun. Oh, why won't you come?
I swear I just saw colonize. Colonize planet E. Another planet joins the Unity.
Oh no.
Right. So.
Why did you change player first?
Yeah, of course I did. I'm cool like that. So, Thief change player.
Didn't you?
Change active player. No. See? Okay, so now what we can do is we can attack that planet. So, we'll ignore those vessels. So.
Thank you, Ancient One. It was fun doing that, making the plasma effect. Doing the weapon effects and textures on this was alright. The UV map is a different story.
Cheers, Ancient One. That's good of you. I think it's quite nice that we've got the opportunity to do something kind of semi-unique for the Romulans, different for the Romulans from most, I suppose, most Star Trek mods, because I can't think of another Star Trek mod that's used the Starfleet Museum designs.
'Tis I, the late great Cryptic Streams. Hi, go, says Cryptic Streams.
Hey, Cryptic. How you doing?
Very cryptic what he's saying, though.
Yes, none of the firepower on these is over 9,000. You are quite right. Oh, and there goes one of them now.
Start shooting the bloody planet.
I've told them to go in that general direction. They're just taking their sweet time. Oh, here we go. So as you can see, they do their thing, siege a planet out. I don't think they do a massive amount of damage to the planet.
It's the default bombing damage at the moment.
But I think we're quite happy with them. So that central weapon, oh, there you go, you can see, it is only used when it's sieging the planet. The ringer weapons on the outside, these 5 fellows, are the shotgun weapon, or the shotgun blast weapons. Which we'll turn around and give that guy a little bit of a howdy doody. And you can see they're quite slow to move and quite slow to turn as well. So I wouldn't necessarily use these guys as front-line attack vessels unless they're part of an assault fleet. So they're just giving them a tickle, really, aren't they? Well, that's a shame, Spring. Well, do bear in mind that my videos are always there on demand, so if you ever want to watch them in the future, you can do so on demand whenever it suits you. And of course, if you comment on there, I do read all the comments on YouTube, so I will do my very level best to respond. Should you ask a question? Right, so there we go. That is the new cabbage. I think I may as well pause this and minimise it for the time being, because Max is working on another Romulan vessel at the moment, and I think that's part of what we're going to show you today.
Semi-working on a Romulan vessel. Semi-working, semi-sweating my ass off.
Let's just make this screen big. So what Max is working on at the moment is he is looking to UV unwrap and texture Hobbs's model for the Romulan colony ship. There he is, spinning it like mad. You can see that he's halved it, so it's going to be a mirrored texture.
Yeah.
Yeah. and he's separating different bits of it into clusters, moving them into a suitable area, and then he's going to pack it all into a particular texture size. What texture size are you using for this?
2048, just like everything.
Even newer cabbage. So run us through what you're doing, if you can cope.
Well, right now I'm texturing, I'm using the warp wheel, making sure that these squares are squares and not like stretched. So, and you've got to scale it all right to the rest. So, what I want to do first is I'm going to get all these little warp wheels that are here. I'm going to do the pods, and because everything has to have unique UVs because in order to bake the ambient occlusion in there, it has to be like that.
That's right, and they're all slightly different shapes as well, aren't they?
No, they're all the same shape.
Oh, are they? Each one of them?
Yeah.
Oh, Hobbs.
Hobbs, good egg.
I see a Romulan ship. You do indeed, Jarell. You haven't missed too much, no. We just showed off a ship called the Cabbage. It's called the Osprey in our mod, but...
it's called the Cabbage! That's the end of it.
I'm not having it. In the original Starfleet Museum version of it, it's called the Cabbage. I'm good, Timmy boy. How about you?
Also, Avatar The Last Airbender memes are always approved.
Oh, is that what was going on there?
If you do not know my cabbages, then...
Right, Gull, if you do a pull, I think I've fixed the issues that you were having on that screen.
Okay. We'll just minimise this, move it out of the way, and I'll do a quick pull on camera.
Really?
Here we go. Let's grab that. As many of you know, folks, we use something called Tortoise Git in order to disseminate things. So
also to inseminate.
Hobbs has just pushed something, and if I press the pull button, then you can see player customizing screen fix is now in. And what I'll do is I'll restart the game, and we'll make sure that is working as intended. Oh, Inferno's done his thing. When will the mod be released? We'll be releasing.
Why do these people never learn?
Buddy.
We will be releasing something this year. It's unlikely to be the finished version because, as you can imagine, we all work around our day jobs. But yeah, there will be something out this year.
Whoever asked, next time it's corporal punishment.
Oh, hang on, I need to go to player customizing, don't I? So player setup. There we go. That's more like it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the little octagonal thing that you've done. The kind of the meshing behind there.
Yeah, it was something that's on the stock
Oh, that's sad to hear, Griffin.
menu.
I like it.
But I thought it would add a bit of detail.
Oh,
But I
thank you so much
modified
for the
it,
cheers. Hey, I didn't ask for a Federation one. I wanted this. Okay. That one works correctly. That one works correctly. I've discovered a problem.
Oh no! What's broken?
Right, so this is correct.
Yeah.
Okay, now if I go to change theme and I want this particular one.
What is the actual? Is it the Andorian one?
It's the funny arrow pointing right with the roundy on the left hand side.
Let me load the game.
What's wrong with it, Chris?
It's calling on the wrong image. I'll just check the others. Check some randomly. I think all the others are correct. Just that one that's being a bit of a sausage.
No, there's some others that are wrong.
You sausage.
If you want that one, it's the bottom, the bottom one, second one from the left. That one.
Oh.
This uses multiple texture sheets for the different sizes of the logo, and they're not all laid out the same, which should be too easy.
Whoopsie daisy. There we go. I like the look of it.
You're going to have to go through these one at a time to work out where they are and where they're meant to be points.
And you can see, folks, that you can change your picture as well in order to suit. Most of them have got similar flags.
Oh shit! Press that.
So there we go. That's the player setup screen done. Cool. Right, let's get back. Let's see what Max is playing at.
Same old boring shiznit.
Hey, I don't find it boring. I find this fascinating. The PC lives again. That's good to hear, Draconium. Maybe we could finally have that game of Sins that we tried to have about 6 months ago.
Now I need to. The cat, I think, is.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Spring. I mean, I'm sure I don't need to say there's plenty more fish in the sea, but...
Well, he's not attracted to fish now, is he? It's very weird of you to say, Chris.
Well, you never know. One great thing about fish is if you take them out of the water, they always seem surprised by the jokes that you make.
But remember, if you like fish sticks...
When you say Twitch was not working, do you mean it was not working for you, or it's not working in general? Because I might need to look at that if it's not. Oh, it seems to be working. Is this game only for PC? I'm afraid it is, Spring. And this is a mod for an existing game.
I was gonna say, it's not a game, buddy.
Hey, Sniper, how you doing, my man? Glad to hear you enjoy the videos. Always pleased to hear that. You were thinking about suggesting playing to me earlier, were you, Draconian? Oh. Well, I'm sure we'll find some time to get together over the next few weeks. Given what I'm like, I don't know when it'll be, but we'll find some time, I'm sure. So what you're doing right now is you're ensuring that there's no stretching, and you're kind of building yourself a little framework in order to make sure it's gonna.
Just any kind.
Diamond Puppy, thank you so much for following the stream. In order to make sure that it's going to fit into the box.
Well, first I've got to unwrap everything because it's got to all be proper.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying you're doing.
And then I need to put it in places, and then I can do the magicy paintbrushy thing in Photoshop. Some people may say it's magic, but actually it's just magic. It's just regular magic.
As you can see, folks, as you may be able to tell, it's currently something like 120,000 degrees centigrade in Holland. And
right now,
Max can't cope.
over here, it is in my city 35 degrees Celsius.
Nice. What's that in Fahrenheit? Should we check that for any of our US audience?
95 degrees. By the way, with the average air humidity of about 95%.
I love it. I love it.
So I've got a drink here,
It's a nice and casual 26 here right now.
I think it's the same. It's the same problem same with the UK, isn't it, as well, Hobbs? Like it's like the weather's like British people just not used to this kind of weather.
Do you know, I went out for a walk today, and I went.
Why would you be so foolish to do that?
I know.
That's dangerous.
Did you actually hear the Met Office said we're not allowed outside?
Did they? Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, they said between 11 and 3 you need to limit your time outside.
Oh, I just did what I wanted, as I usually do.
Honestly, though, depending on your house, it might be colder outside.
Am I allowed to finish my story now?
No.
Because it's a great story. I was walking through the park, and it's been so long since it's rained here. I live in Birmingham. That I was walking across a patch of really kind of yellow, dry grass, and just standing on it and having my boots crunch across it, it was disintegrating. So the grass was turning into dust under my feet. I just thought, we'd probably do a bit of rain.
That's happened here. It hasn't rained here for 2 months.
Oh man.
Coulter, you said 95. That's by a fair cool compared to most places in the US. Yeah, but we're a coastal country, and we have very high air humidity. But the Netherlands is basically a swamp. Imagine being in a swamp with 95 degrees.
I think quite aside from that, one thing that most of Europe doesn't have is aircon.
At all.
I have it at my work.
Yeah, so I think we've got it in our office as well, just for the server nests, not for us. But
I don't have it in my office, and it's horrendous.
But yes, at home, when we get home, if it is 29 degrees outside, it's probably about 32, 33 degrees inside. So it's hotter inside almost than it is outside, and there is no escape from it. You just have to drink lots of water and hope that you don't die. I'm probably well, no, I'm not probably. I am over-exaggerating.
That's how it is. It's how it is, Chris. It's deadly.
Portsmouth is about 26. I mean, that's still uncomfortably warm, in my opinion, but...
26 is usually nice. Here's the thing, it doesn't go below 20 here at night. It doesn't go below 25 at night, Chris. That's the part which is killing for me as well.
It is, yeah. I mean, I've for the past 3 nights, days in fact, I've woken up in really bizarre ways because it's like there's almost no point getting in bed. So I kind of find myself draped sideways across the bed.
Yeah, I mean, colder. I mean, if you're 111 in Texas, but Texas is basically just desert, meaning you've got dry air. I've had warmer temperatures when I was in Greece on vacation, which was nice because, you know, if it's dry air, it's not as bad. But like I said, it's humid, and that's the killing part. If you had dry, like desert air, it's easier to to deal with it.
I mean, we're very aware that the other areas in the world do get hotter.
It's hotter in the Sahara
significantly
Desert right now,
hotter.
just so you know.
Oh, is it? But yeah, we're very aware that other areas in the world do get significantly hotter than like the UK is right now, or Holland is right now. The Netherlands, excuse me.
I'm not that fussy.
However, I think the situation is different. If people are very used to that kind of weather condition, or those kind of weather conditions, where there are extremes where it's either very hot or very cold, they'll have air conditioning or they'll have heating that suits that kind of those kind of weather conditions, which allows them to sort themselves out. We haven't got any of that. We've got like big thick walls, double glazing that like retains heat, baked bricks. And there's just no escape, is there?
The Netherlands is just like the UK. What are we going to build it out of? Bricks. Just bricks. Just bricks. Everything's built out of bricks here. My grandfather was a brick.
What? What are you even talking about?
My grandfather was proud to be a brick. He was a brick just like his father before him.
Timmy Boy says, "Girl, try sharing a bed with a woman that is always hot to the touch. It's like an oven." Now,
Timmy Boy, that's what I did last night with these temperatures. It's like two snakes sliding across each other.
Despite the fact, Timmy Boy, that I'm quite clearly a cretin, I am in my 30s now. I've come across a couple of women, some of whom have even contented to stay in the same house as me.
I was going to say, they all told you to go away, didn't they?
Eventually, yeah. Sometimes it took a couple of years.
That was too easy to jab.
But yes, I used to go out with a girl who was she was like a furnace. She was always so warm, and I couldn't cope with it. I used to roll across to the other end of the bed and just kind of like really, really hope that she didn't want to hug, but she did. Because I'm like a fat little cuddly teddy bear, and people like hugging me.
Oh please! I hate it when girls cuddle me in bed because
there's nothing worse.
I'm a furnace myself, so when somebody cuddles you, it's like I need my air flow regulated.
Winter Wolf says, at least down south you see the sun, girl. Us Scots are permanently blue and burst into flames when we see the sun. Not true at all. In fact, some of the highlands can get really, really, really hot. I've been walking, I can't remember where it was, sadly, because I was quite young. Somewhere in the Scottish Highlands, and like when the sun is on that, my God, it gets hot. It's just the land reflects everything. Whew. And then it rained, so we were okay after that.
That's the problem as well here. It hasn't rained here in 2 months. Oh, there's also one thing Dutch people are really good at, and that's just complaining about everything.
Gen 3X Competition Pro gets between 20 to 30 kills per game. You wouldn't think there'd be many humans left, would you? Player kills, of course. What are we talking about, Cryptic? Are we talking about Titanfall? Titanfall's the one where you can like run across walls and do like little jetpacky things, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I like the look of that, but I never bought it.
I bought the first one. It was alright.
Yeah.
It's all right. I mean, it's not more than
Didn't
that.
one of the Call of Duty games do a bit of a copycat?
I think it's.
Okay, Centurion would like our opinions on the new Discovery trailer.
Eh.
I think it looks better than season 1.
I didn't like the worker bees / shuttle things.
No,
I
I
found
didn't
them
like
quite
that
frustrating.
Don't even get me started.
Because
Like,
there's no evidence anywhere within the canon of those type of vessels. So if there was
Well, that
evidence
doesn't
of
bother me.
similarity, no, it does bother me. It really bothers me because you don't suddenly have a design lineage that kind of like pops into existence and then suddenly disappears unless those things are total shit. And what they're doing by putting them in Discovery is selling them as the best possible technology.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest.
Hello, Ben Harding, also from Birmingham.
I was getting more bothered by the cinema trailer tropes. They just aggravate me, like the modern rock music in there for no reason.
Uh-huh.
And the whole this is really dramatic. We got this, right? Joke. Oh.
It's been ages since I played a Halo game. I think the last Halo game I played was...
the first one.
No, like with any real regularity, I think Halo 2 was the last one I played. I played through the campaign of Halo 3 and then kind of got bored of it after that. I think I played ODST a little bit as well. I refresh and hear Max orgasm. That's not what he was doing. I hate my life. It's like herding kittens.
Cocaine.
There was a scene in which the canopy was held by some sort of steel-like debris. Oh, nice.
You know, it's not real Star Trek until there's rocks falling from the ceiling in the bridge.
Is this the era that Discovery is supposed to be set in?
Yes.
Yeah. The Discovery would come kind of slap bang in the middle of the eras that we're looking at.
Except we're doing it better.
Yes. However, we've gone for a different design lineage. We don't agree with the way that Discovery looks in comparison to the rest of the pre-existing lore. So we've kind of gone in our own direction, and many of you might know about the Axanar film that was planned, and then there was a whole legal battle surrounding it.
It's still happening, by the way. But
Sorry?
it's still happening.
Well, kind of. It's just a very short film now, so it's kind of undermined everything that it was trying to accomplish.
That's true.
Which is a crying shame, but it is what it is. You know, there's nothing we can do about it.
Not
yes,
going to try to get busy with CBS. That's one thing.
But yes, we've taken that design lineage to heart a little bit more, as well as our own little twist on various things. Coulter says, I've got the Master Chief Collection and play when I'm too bored to play other games. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, good lord, Jarrell, why do you...
What Jarrell say?
We've got young viewers, I can't repeat it. Oh, I can. He says that
Well, I mean, there was that one scene in Discovery, you know, with the flashbacks with the Klingon. First time we've seen that.
Kuvma.
Kuvma.
My imaginary monocle still pops out when I see Dax kissing that other girl.
Ah, that little line of spit that goes in.
You've watched that scene.
You know what? You know what I'm on about.
All right, that'll do on that. Jarrell says at this point, Star Trek porn is closer to canon than Discovery because at least the uniforms are right. Yeah, Discovery, I'm not bothered about.
Where's that big schism?
I'll watch it because I suspect that it'll be a little bit more episodic than the first season, rather than a serial.
Just remember, Spock's conveniently on holiday.
But remember, what about the other ones?
Spock's secret family must be huge.
It's like there's more children we don't know about. There's Cybok and Cybokbok.
That's a good question for the community. What kind of random events do you think you would like to see that are centered around the time period that we're focusing in, which is ENT to TOS?
Changing the subject.
I think it's a good idea to change the subject. I'd like to have a sensical discussion rather than a nonsensical one today. If at all.
You know
possible.
who you've got in the chat with you, right?
I'm aware of this. I'm also... are you doing any work at the moment, Hobbs? Or are you just chilling?
Pause menu.
Any chance I can take a look?
I've not done anything.
Oh, alright. We won't do that then. Well, we've got quite a lot to do. If I go back into game, which... Oh, for some reason I've got two.
This stuff... Hobbs, please never make these types of engines again, because I hate them. I hate them with a passion.
I'm going to make every single ship I ever make with those engines. They're my
I will
favourite.
fucking end you.
Language. There we go. Let's get into game. Halo 5 was awesome. I haven't played it. I haven't played Halo 5 at all. Is that the one with the... is it called Infinity or something, that vessel in there? Halo 5?
I think Halo... was it Reach? Was that one of them?
I did play a bit of Reach. That's where you can play as a team, or you do play as a team.
Yeah, I remember playing that one, and Halo Wars.
Are we going to get another Bane-class ISD to wreck everything as the random event? No, I don't think we will in this one. Cog Whistle, thank you very much for following the stream. Really good of you. I like your name. It's good. A JJ anomaly and a spiky ship comes through in Rex's face. About that.
About that, yeah.
It's going to be a thing.
We can know the selection tool. I can neither confirm nor deny the fact that a certain spiky ship may make an appearance.
Oh, Draconian would like me to show off an image that he sent me about the size of the burger that he's got. Do you know what? We'll do it.
Does it mean that he's very fat?
Draconian, that's a lot of patties. Would you mind...
that looks delicious.
Before you eat it, Draconian, would you mind getting a banana and using that for size reference?
And we really mean the fruit?
We do mean the fruit.
Just so we're clear.
Right, we were looking at the options menu. Are you talking about these menus? Oh. I see that things have occurred.
Yeah, so apparently multiple things reference those images, so, half my work is done.
Gibraltar says, now I want a burger, FFS Draconian.
Yeah, this is the set of menus I'm going to look at.
Okay. Oh, that's good, because I thought I might have to do them. I'm glad that I don't. Oh, good. Yay. Thank you, Hobbs. Oh, look, it's all done here as well, look.
Yeah, it seems to have taken little random bits.
Okay.
If you go to the options, I think it's taken all of that from the... even the layout is taken from the main menu option screen. Just,
how useful. That hasn't had unintended effects elsewhere, has it?
Well, we'll find out.
Oh.
Oh, that's just the comp-sat. Because I've required it to have that. My bad. I've changed these as well. I've changed it to space frame, upgrades, logistics, diplomacy, fleet capacity.
Nice.
No diplomacy. I haven't done any yet. This is a menu that we're going to have to look at as well. The underground menu. Because it's the sound of the underground. I wonder if I've been sent a banana for reference. No, I haven't yet. Draconian, disappointing me.
Nip to the shops.
It's had to go and buy a banana. That'd be amazing.
I'll be back in 2 seconds.
I wouldn't even be mad. But there we go. That is quite interesting. That we've got half of that done already. I wonder. We could probably use this surround and just fit everything in, couldn't we? See the research surround?
Yeah, maybe. I'm wondering. Oh, do you mean for the black market, the underground, or do you mean for the escape menu?
I mean for the options menu, because it's the same size. I recognise that these are a little bit close to the left, but I'm pretty sure I could push them right.
I think it's been moved left because the icons are offset. So when I set that back to 0, it nudges it all to the left.
Yeah, that's right. I think we could always nudge it to the right, and then we can utilise the same background without having to mess around too much. What do you think? Oh, unless you want a different one.
Yeah, I'm wondering if like the in-game menus, like these ones, in the actual game, in the match, we keep like this, and then the escape menu, because the buttons are, it's taking it from the other menu. They look slightly different. I think the blue would look a bit weird on that, maybe.
It might do. You're quite right. Perhaps we could take the same shape and then change the colour somewhat.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So that way, at least we could get a uniformity in shape. Like with the little kind of Battlestar Galactica style corner cut-offs, etc.
I'm gonna grab that texture file and copy it, and then
have a little bit of a play around. Yeah, that's a good idea. Since when is the Federation known to be diplomatic? I know, Gralta. Aren't any of the Discovery background ships going to be added? Asks Ben. Yeah.
No. Technically.
Well, we've added our own versions. I'll spawn a couple.
We've only done one, so a couple.
We've done several.
Which ones?
Cardenas, the Crossfield itself.
Well, that's not a background ship.
I think it means from the Discovery era. From the Discovery show is I think what he meant.
I thought you meant like there's just the ships in the background from the Battle of the Binary Stars. So.
I'm not sure if that's what he meant. I'm sure he'll elaborate in a moment. This one's a Jupiter. This isn't a Neptune.
You know one thing about season 2 Discovery, like Pike, captain of the Discovery, which is like, what? Why?
I mean, why not? I suppose. So Federation, I think it's FedCap support, isn't it?
Yep.
So there's your Crossfield class, reimagined by Maximus.
Still not entirely happy with it. But,
I like it. I think it's good. I'm quite happy with it. So don't worry
I think
about
it's
it.
good considering like the source material. I mean, it's no pizza colour, but still.
And then in addition to that, we have, if I go into frigate, Federation, it's going to be a cruiser. Cruiser?
Battle stations.
We've got our version of the Cardenas. Go on, pokey. Pokey. There we are. Sometimes with older Federation vessels, you just have to give them a bit of a pokey, and then the nacelles start working. The asteroid Yanada that fires missiles everywhere. What's that? I'll have to check that out, Jarrell. No spore drive, no Timmy boy. The location of the Cardenas Bridge is very far forward compared to most
it's not, yeah.
But then they did funny things in general in Discovery with bridges, didn't they? They had that nice underslung bridge in the Walker class, which I actually like. I know no one else does. Max practically vomits every time I mention it. And let's see if I can get this right now. Spawn entity, active player, capital ship, Klingon. Is it the tank?
Fleet tender.
Of course. We've also got this, which is effectively the sarcophagus ship. It's based on an artist's work, isn't it? I can't remember his name now. Atom. That's it. He did a lovely rendition, kind of like a TOS-ish rendition of it, and we really fell in love with it and thought, okay, we'll make a model that's kind of very loosely based on that. TOS Season 3. The Fabrini were living out on a hollowed out asteroid. I'll take a look at that episode. Sci-fi bridge placement is a bit odd in reality. You're quite right, Winterwolf. Theoretically, you would put a bridge or a command center like right slap bang in the middle of, in the center of a ship, in order to ensure that the command staff didn't get killed on the first volley. But you know, that would make too much sense, wouldn't it? I don't think we have any other disco-inspired ships, do we?
Nope.
That's what we've got. I don't expect that we will have much more in the way of disco. The nice little NST here as well, which I love the engines on these. Our fighters are a thing in this era, not actual fighters, but we do have shuttles. We got kind of two forms of shuttles. We've of course got the Axonaut era shuttles, and then we've got like full TOS shuttles as well. Grolter says they've got shields on the in Star Trek Gull, and they never seem to fail on the protagonist ships.
I don't know, man. The Shenzhou got quite its beating, to be fair. Alright, that's the most annoying part of the ship UV'd.
I'm gonna sneakily come back to your screen and see what you're up to, Maximus.
Not much at the moment.
Hey, I think this is really cool stuff. I love watching stuff like this. Probably because, at least primarily, because it's something I don't do.
That's just...
delicious. The Bridge of Ships, the Praetor for Legends, is one of the few sensible. Do you mean the Praetor or the Praetor 2, Winterwolf? I know we've somehow strayed into Star Wars here, but that's okay.
I am...
What?
Inconceivable. I hate it when it doesn't do this properly.
Max is currently pulling his hair out because of the roundness of everything. Nah, they're not so bad. Cylindrical stuff isn't that bad.
It's spherical stuff, which is really a pain.
Spherical is, yeah, it's a pain in the bum. Would it be possible to have a Mako shuttle?
Nope. Are they there first, folks?
Well, there are certain things that we've got that kind of pertain to that. Abilities, for example. The old wild weasel, haven't we? Star Destroyers should have a secondary bridge in the middle of the whole thing. Yes, they absolutely bloody well should. Cryptic, why? Why would anybody want that? Oh, there might too. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this is part of the reason I like watching Max, is because he seems very assured in what he's doing most of the time, whereas I think I'd be so nervous that it would take me hours and hours to do things.
Alright, that's the basis done. Now it's... Oh wait, almost. Done.
Can you lower energy on enemy ships in TFF? We're not actively working on the Final Frontier anymore, Chris. So it's not something that we're likely to see any changes on. There are certain things that you could do if you chose to. I think I've done a modding tutorial where I show you how to turn things into rich text before. But then enemy ships, what does that constitute in your mind? Do you only play as the Federation, or do you only play as the Borg? Do you only play as the Romulans? If we lower the... I presume when you say energy you mean shields. If we lower the shields on one particular race, that makes all the other races overpowered compared to them, so you'd need to lower the shield on all races in order to maintain balance, and if you did that, then you would be in the same position that you were to start with. So I don't think it would be useful.
Balance.
Draconian wants to know why not.
Why not what?
I'm not sure.
I forgot.
I think we're talking about the Mako shuttle.
Oh, because raisins.
One thing that we don't want to do in this particular mod is we don't want to have ships taking over other ships unless there's an exceptional circumstance where an ability calls for it.
We haven't had anything that requires it.
We haven't at this point, no. The exception to that I might consider would be a random event that could take over one of your ships. That might be the only way I would allow it.
Yeah, same.
Because I think that would be a fascinating random event to have your own ships turned against you. Maybe like a rogue AI or something. It would be fun.
5 computer virus could be a cool one for the next one.
Oh yeah. But that's not quite in this time period, is it?
That's why I said for the next one.
Yeah.
And am I going to fit that all in
Chris
here?
Clay says he'd love to learn how to use Blender. Have you come across any...
Don't learn Blender, learn 3ds Max instead.
Max primarily uses 3ds Max, and I think you do as well, don't you, Hobbs?
Yeah, not to the same standard, but yeah.
I think you use it to an excellent standard, from what I've seen.
Yeah, man, not so negative.
What I'm doing.
Not so negative to you. Don't be so negative. Don't be such a negative Nancy.
He's British. It's what we do.
No, you queue. That's what you do. You line up nicely and form nice queues.
Evanissimo, you're quite right. Romulan ships from the Starfleet Museum. It's time to sit back and drink a cup of coffee and enjoy the show. Girl, would you or anyone else like a cup of coffee, sir? Master Chief, I would adore a cup of coffee. I may go and make
cold beer, please.
Actually, I think I've just run out of coffee. I'll have a cup of Earl Grey.
Earl Grey, hot.
Hot. Not too... Actually, if it is extremely hot, then maybe I'll forget how hot everything else is.
Actually, I wouldn't mind a cup of tea
Even my desk is clammy. It's ridiculous.
But there's not a part of my body now which is not sticky.
Oh, God.
And I didn't even have a good time yet.
Oh, no.
Hey, that was pretty PG.
I
haven't been exercising yet. I'll leave it at that. I haven't had my daily session of cardio.
Your daily dose of tomfoolery.
I've had my daily dose of tomfoolery.
We
talking to you for a couple of hours now, haven't I?
Yeah, we did spend about an hour before we started the stream watching a bad day at work YouTube videos.
That train though. That train. Rest in peace, random truck driver.
Centurion says that didn't sound wrong at all.
It was not meant to sound right either.
Beers in the fridge would be good as well.
Alright, it's almost done actually.
I love these ships, says Evanissimo. They're so different and primitive looking. Yes, I adore them as well.
I hated them at first, but they've grown on me a lot.
Well, I think because when you put your own stamp on something, it just changes your whole perception of it, doesn't it? I
think because, let me go to Exastris to show how a lot of this stuff...
Got a one-track mind, Max.
How a lot of people have made renders of these ships. Like, they've made them look like this. Even if they have any sort of paneling or hull texture, it still looks very...
bland?
Yeah, and that's like some of the good stuff. I mean, this is the kind of schematics you've got, so, you know... I think what we've done with them has made them a lot better.
I think just having good lighting helps a lot as well, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wouldn't be the first to accuse Sins of having the best lighting in the world. It's not.
It's not the worst either. Far from it.
It's not bad for what it does.
Okay, let's move you there, and you two as well. And then I can have this in a decent resolution.
What Max is doing here, at least partially, is he's deciding which bits need more resolution, or at least more texture space, so he can be a little bit more discerning on textures in some areas than others. So he might make some textures larger in order for him to get better definition on those areas.
Like on this bit, for example, there's going to be like a little engine grill, which if you do too low res, just wash away.
So that's something that Max.
She's done.
Oh, good lord! Well played, sir. So what you now do is you sort that UV out. You're using what, 2K texture?
Yes. Oh, back into the other screen. So you get this. It's a nice picture.
And it goes into Photoshop.
Well, we've got to do something else first.
Oh, okay. Fine. See if I care.
Yeah, you do care because you're watching me.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Oh, yeah. I don't believe that for a moment, Cryptic.
Cryptic say?
It says, close some of your tabs, I see porn, but that's...
Maybe.
I think you're more careful than that. Because you know I would never let it go.
There's no incognito screens open. No, the only kind of semi-porn that's on is Parks and Recs.
Ah. I do like, what's her name? April, in that. She's weird and very attractive.
Aubrey Plaza.
Indeed. Have you seen interviews with her? She's quite mad, isn't she?
Yeah, she's got a very different voice than she usually does. She's got this deep voice also in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but when you hear her speaking normal, she's like, it's got this squeaky eye voice. So now we're gonna like mirror it so that's all ready. And
she
now
says
we're gonna
like a little bit too much for my taste. I must admit. She's very much a young woman from the US. They seem to say like a lot.
Did you say a woman?
A woman.
A woman?
A woman.
Your security chief is a woman? It's TNG season 1.
Oh man, Tasha Yar was not happy.
Honestly, man, if you watch that episode now, it's like, that's racist.
Yes, it is.
What I'm now rendering is the Ambient Occlusion baked map. I'm just going to go render, and it's going to go continue.
Would you like to explain ambient occlusion to people like me who don't understand?
I think it's easier to show once it's done.
Okay,
so what it basically does is it renders in some of the more faulty shadows. Now this looks terrible on this screen, but once it's done, it's going to look fine.
It will be fine. Hey, Spring, how you doing? Nice to see you back.
Spring, did you bring beers?
Centurion says that's a nice design. You said it was a colony ship, correct? I don't think Spring Griffin's old enough to have beers. I mean,
He can still get them for us.
I don't know if shops work that way.
I can't get the beer.
I don't know if shops work that way.
For my dad. Like next day, kid comes back with the black.
I don't know. The shop downstairs for me would probably be fine with that. You just be like, yeah, whatever. I might have a break in about 5 minutes and go and get some beers because you've made me think about it.
I hate you. You know what? While this is rendering, I'm going to grab my Ben and Jerry's cookie dough.
Yeah, this is the colony ship, and do we have a name for this one yet? I can't remember.
My cabbages.
My cabbages.
Dutch cabbage.
The Dutch cabbage.
It's like a Dutch oven, but with a cabbage.
Ooh. What do you do? What do you do? Fly into a cabbage and then just kind of like unroll the leaves really quickly when your wife's around?
Drop it like a grenade.
Drop it like.
Yeah, you throw it like a grenade. This guy Hobbs gets it.
For anybody who doesn't know, which I'm sure you all do, a Dutch oven is farting in bed under the covers and then pushing your partner's head into the covers.
Listen, Spring, if you take
Captain
your
Iona,
ID,
thank you so much for subscribing.
What you need to do, Spring, is you need to go to the store and hold your ID upside down so it says 21.
Perfect.
Right, so it's rendered now.
Work.
Now let me show you guys what it's done.
I presume, given the amount of toxic chemicals that we eat and drink on a daily basis, that you've probably got a really long beard that goes down to your belly button at this point, Spring.
We're going with beard. Okay.
Yeah. Well, what do you think I was going to say?
I don't know. I was worried.
Yes, beard. Definitely beard.
Okay. Cool.
So I've got the UV map, which we had earlier. Oh, look, the use is Bette Midler, Chris.
Kirk has beers on the bridge.
One test we did.
Oh yes, that's something that we were looking at the other day for something that we will be discussing in the future.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that to the top, and what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just put the AO
USS Bette
in.
Midler.
And see, this looks a lot better. This is the texture we just rendered. I can see some shading going on in these places. So what happens if I slap it in a texture now? I'm going to just turn this off and then save this as uv.psd. Oh, that runs so nicely off the mouth, doesn't it? uv.psd.
The Dutch rudder.
So if I apply the texture now,
I had a beard when I was 12, Spring. I mean, it was a bit wispy.
so if you look at it now, it's very flatly shaded. There's no little shadows on it whatsoever. I'm going to put the little texture on there, and we're just going to go like, look, you can see some of the, it's not too big a deal. It's going to get fixed.
So what that serves to do is it serves to more clearly define where the areas of shadow should be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You could call it the plunger.
Now let's go. You can see like little shadows around this area and like some baked-in lighting. It's just part one of the lighting bake
I
that's
really
going
like
on.
those fins on it.
So let's start making the texture on it, shall we?
I think that's something I hadn't noticed about the model before was the fins.
I'm going to grab the cabbage. That's the texture. Like background shading of it. There we go. Now if we look at it now, save it.
So you're putting a base texture on now.
Bam!
Okie dokie.
Already got some good stuff going on.
We are definitely getting there.
We're cooking with gas already.
I think it might be a good idea for me to have that couple of minutes break because I need to get beer.
Just bring on, I'll just be doing this.
Okay, that sounds good to me. If anybody has any questions, Max does have what we call Restream IO app. And what that does is it allows him to look at both chats. So if you have any questions, let Max,
may or may not be paying
let Max
a lot of attention to it.
or Hobbs know what the questions are, and I'm sure they will endeavour to answer them.
Yeah, Hobbs, and you'll endeavour to answer their questions.
I will? Okay.
Or read the questions so that we can both answer them.
A draconian
So you just want me to do it?
Draconian and Cryptic just in like some kind of sub battle with each other. Guys, anybody who's watching this, can you subscribe to Cryptic Streams and Draconian Gaming? Because
no, you're just allowed to subscribe to one of them. Just one.
Let them fight. Maybe that'll make them quiet.
Look at that. That's now grey.
Go, what are your friends' channels' name? Neither Hobbs or Max has a YouTube channel, I'm afraid to say. We're actually watching what Max is doing now. He's sharing with me, and I am watching it. We're all watching it, in fact.
Everyone? Oh, come on, do the, what's this called? The Gary Oldman super scream. Everyone!
Oh, good God. Right, fellas, I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. I need to put my flip-flops on. My awesome flip-flops, which I thought I'd lost.
Draconian, I don't have any beer in the house. I think beer is better than ice cream.
Back in a moment, folks.
It's an interesting question in the YouTube chat, Max.
What's the question?
I think you should read it.
How about you read it to me, then I can answer it.
Hobbs203 asks, Max, why do you suck so much?
I hate you. Because this idiot called Hobbs203 keeps supplying me models, and it's just annoying.
I will never do it again.
Yeah, just learn to texture yourself.
Why should I when you do it so well?
I hate you. Free, please. Piss off, Captain Check. Okay.
I feel like we've been left home alone, and that we should have a party.
Let's check which part of the UV that is. Oh, it is that one. Okay, cool.
Ah, cool. What are you going to do for the doors?
I'm going to do like this door texture.
Oh, interesting.
Shaped like a door. It's even going to smell like...
Is it going to be like a wood door, like a bedroom door?
Yeah.
With, like the little grooves and stuff and the little door handle?
You want to go for like a proper like manor kind of door?
Yeah. Something like well classy.
Look, Greeblies.
Where? I don't see no Greeblies.
There. Right below its German helmet. Finned for his and her pleasure.
Ah, Greeblies.
Cryptic Shack didn't ask anything, it was just an annoying steam pop-up.
I want to know what a bonkin barbar is.
Alright, so...
Nice.
One of these old rustic ones. Gotta be squarely dead on center though. There we go.
Oh, don't put a bloody door on it.
Told me to put a door on it.
Silly. These just aren't grand enough. I like. Yes.
Closing time.
Can we when we have it colonized, have like a creaky door sound?
Okay. Hey, folks.
Oh,
Go. I've just added the doors to the ship, Chris. What do you think?
That's interesting. What's going on there?
we were left home alone and we didn't know what to do. Draconian asks Max, what is your favourite Star Trek ship?
Why do you ask me such difficult questions, Draconian?
Well, what is
I
it?
don't know what mine is. I need to think. Are we saying favourite Federation ship or just favourite all out?
All out.
Oh, jeez.
Your layer called doors for realsies.
It'll have to be a glorious design.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oi!
To be fair, though, speaking of Cardassian ships, I really did like the Tonga class, and I love doing it as well.
Yeah, cool class that.
Okay, I'm gonna do favourite of
My favourite Cardassian ship.
races. Okay, so favourite Fed is.
This isn't a cup of coffee or tea, listen.
That's a beer, bastard.
That is a big bottle of beer. I've got Sol today because it feels quite summery.
Put a bong and dunk on it.
Put a dunk on it.
Favourite Fed is Excelsior class.
Ah, good choice that.
Favourite Romulan is. If we're speaking just canon, the Derridex, but if we're speaking extended, I like the Shrike.
Ah, I love
Shrike's
Shrike.
cool. Yeah, very cool. What about the Harpy? What do you think of that?
Quite good. Quite like the Harpy. I really like the Armada Romulan ships. The Griffin is great as well.
Griffin is super cool. Max, a couple of years ago, Max started doing a really cool redesign of the Griffin, but unfortunately, I think that went by the wayside, didn't it? Because we had to do some other stuff, and you never got that finished. But I remember you doing the beak, and I loved the way that you'd redone the beak of the Griffin. But sadly, as I say, you just ran out of time, didn't you?
Well, I think that got in game.
Did it?
Yeah.
I'll have to have a look.
Klingon
This one?
would
Oh, so it
be-
was, yeah. Oh, I can't even remember you doing it.
The texture's not on it at the moment because it moved to a different drive, but
Favorite Klingon would be the Brow.
which scale though?
The third scale. No. I like the I like the one from like the Way of the Warrior when it's attacking the when they're like attacking that Cardassian.
Draconian's asking
Crazy.
what I consider to be a very
I know it was
important question.
galore. They were trashing.
Gull, have you tried rum-flavoured beer? No, because if I wanted to drink something rum-flavoured, I'd just drink rum.
It's a very that's dumb.
Oh.
And if I wanted to drink something rum flavored, I'd just start drinking, glue because that's what rum tastes
I like rum! How dare you?
Yeah, apparently you like drinking glue.
A little bit.
And my favourite
You do, Griffin? Yep, that's a ship named after you.
Borg ship,
Q's
weirdly
ship.
enough, is the one from Descent.
Really?
Is that Hugh's ship?
No,
Later.
it's the Renegade one.
It's later you ship though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he takes it at the end.
I believe
Maybe.
so.
But yeah, that's my.
I really like the one of my all-time favorite Borg ship is the Assimilator from Armada 1.
Ooh,
That's the one that. Yeah, I remember the one. Yeah.
I quite like the obelisk, Borg-wise. It's just nice and simple. Does well. What about the diamond though? The diamond's a super cool design.
What about the tactical fusion cube?
Nah.
What about the Tactical Fusion Cube?
God.
It's a thing. You can't tell me it's not real because it's real.
Gerald would like to know how my diet's going. Actually, okay. I haven't had much of an appetite lately because I've had some stuff going on emotionally, which has kind of sapped my appetite quite a lot, and I've lost a couple of stone, which is always nice. I mean, it's probably not in the healthiest way, but meh. Here we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Huh.
A seam. How dare it? Oh, there we are.
Just pebbles. He means pebbles, Crowder.
By stones you mean pounds? No, there is. I believe there are 14 pounds in a stone. So I've lost about 28 pounds. I should probably go through my favourite Star Trek ships as well. You're probably going to be surprised by a couple of them. I think I've discussed them before. Federation, my favourite all-time Federation ship is... well, it's kind of a toss-up. I love the Excelsior, particularly the Lakota refit, but I think my favourite is the Constellation.
You're a weird one, you.
I am a weird one. There's something I really love about that ship. I think maybe it's because of Picard and the Stargazer.
I really like it as well.
But I adore it. I just think it's such a wonderful design.
The only thing that puts me off about it is when it's shown like yellow, like his model in his office. That just looks really weird to me.
Yeah, it doesn't look as good. Klingon ship. Probably the Katinga.
Katinga, I really like the Katinga, but it has to be the Gorkon 1 variant.
Oh, the Gorkon one with all the with all that kind of like paneling detail. Yeah, it's great, that one. I think we used the Gorkon Katinga as the diplomacy vessel, didn't we, in SDA3?
I'll give you a better one. I'll show you some of the reference pictures I found when I was doing the Katinga.
Crawlton says he loves the Miranda. Oh, it's a great ship. It's a really good design, the Miranda. I love that.
Yeah, look, these are some of the pictures that I found of the Kronos 1 studio model when it comes to the detail they put on there. This is the neck. There's a little pyramid. They've got all this etched brass detail, and especially like the inner nacelles, how they did that.
That's lovely, actually. That really is a very highly detailed model compared to a lot of Star Trek models.
So was this the motion picture model they just changed slightly, or was it a new one?
I think they changed this mod. They changed one of the motion picture models. That's the motion picture model. I think they changed it. Look, that's a little Sherman tank thing as a gun turret.
Cryptic, you're probably a little bit too light. Based on what I can see, regardless of your age, if you're 5'8" and you're only 9 stone, you're probably a little bit on the light side. So I wouldn't worry about having a burger or two if I were you. Oh, Draconian's favourite is the Nebula. Great ship. Romulan is Scimitar.
Which one's better? Which one's better though? Nebula or the Galaxy?
Here we go.
Well, define better, like look or tactically?
Power-wise.
Not going into that.
I think Romulan ship that I've seen it probably is the Harpy for me. I do like the Harpy a lot.
Look at that detail though.
You quite like the modern designs, don't you, Draconian?
My favourite all-time Fed ship, because I still haven't said mine.
Go on.
The Premonition.
I really love all the TMP ships.
Yeah.
But my all-time favourite is still the Intrepid.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I'm surprised by that. I didn't think it would be.
I've got a soft spot for the Intrepid.
I've got
Captain Janeway.
Griffin, Griffin's got Griffin type weaponry.
Yes. It fires little griffins at the enemy. They grab onto the hull and start just chewing on it. The Griffin, I think it's got a couple of beams.
Single forward beam, 4 forward disruptor cannons, 1 aft disruptor beam, 1 forward plasma torpedo launcher.
All right, nerd face. Thank you for that.
I did build the ship, so.
Nebula for the look and tactical for the Galaxy. I'd actually say the Nebula is probably tactically more sound choice because you can you can base the Nebula on... No, you can base the Nebula on the mission you're going to do by changing the mission pod.
Alright, now I'm going to make the stuff that's going to add most to the ship. Go.
Damn you, new Steam chat.
It's so
The
weird.
old Steam chat was annoying as well. Oh.
Draconian, if you like the disco ships, that's cool, man.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the whole point.
I'm still impressed though that you managed to function with such huge amounts of brain damage.
The whole point of Star Trek, and like one of the biggest parts of Star Trek is that we are accepting and willing to accept each other's wrong opinions. I was actually talking about this in the comments to one of my videos, kind of saying, I think Star Trek as an entity, like particularly TNG, I suspect, has really moulded the moral core that I have. Like I really believe in all of Gene Roddenberry's.
So you're a space communist?
Yeah, effectively. I wouldn't necessarily.
Better dead than red. Better dead than red. Better dead than red.
I'm a socialist. I'm not a communist. But no, I really do believe in the betterment of society via communal action. Very much so.
It's a shame that the community doesn't agree with that, though, isn't it?
Well, often they don't. But that's like the only way I can change other people's opinion is by
refusing to give them food or the means to get food.
I see that you've come into contact with our government.
No, that's the communist way as well. Like it's all equal if nobody has food.
Actually, that really isn't the communist way. But that's a bit of a myth spread by people who like having lots of money and watching poor people agree with them. But anyway.
It's going down a really steep hole.
You're not even following your own Discord rules, buddy.
I'm not on Discord right now. Well, I'm not on my Discord right now. It's fine. I can say what I want in my own streams.
Let's just test how that looks so far. They've got some hotlines going on here now.
The Galaxy was the main ship used during the Dominion War, which is why I hate it. No, not at all. The Galaxy was used more than the Nebula because, well, model diversity wasn't the thing in DS9 very.
You can't use an out-of-universe explanation.
Yeah, it's got to be in-universe explanation, buddy.
All right, so why weren't Nebulas used in the DS9 one?
They were. You see them a lot.
No, you don't.
You
see like two.
See that? Just there are slightly more galaxies, but there are plenty of them in the background.
There are loads more galaxies.
There's not. They just focus a lot more of the shots on the galaxies.
The Walker class is really nice, Draconian. I like it.
Seems that Draconian has to have his mind purged as well.
I agree with you there, Centurion. He says, I've got no problem with the designs of the ships in Discovery. The problem is what comes from them pushing those designs as what's it called? Prime.
That's kind of my whole shtick as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it very much is. Like, particularly the Klingons.
It would explain a lot if this whole, like, having that percentage of the design has to be different thing. If that's the case, and that's true.
That's just an executive decision, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it was a legal decision.
I don't think it is.
Paramount own part of it, and CBS owns another part of it.
Yeah, but CBS still owns all the TV shows, including TOS. They're still airing TOS on Netflix, for crying out loud. TOS Remastered.
Yeah,
can I ask you a question, Max?
Existing and new stuff is different, though.
Can I ask you a Photoshop-related question based on what you're doing now? Now, I can see that you're creating those lines. I understand how to create them, but one thing that you are doing is based on where you're clicking, yes, like a chicken. Based on where you're clicking roughly, those lines are remaining perpendicular to one another. So kind of like.
Oh, hold down Shift, because then they go in either a 90 or a 45-degree angle.
Say what?
What is this heathen?
If I'd known this a year ago, my life would have been so much easier. Cool. Good to know.
See how this turns out. Okay, that looks alright.
What bird are you going to paint on it?
The bird that's not... Seagull.
Aurelia says, I just hate Discovery for what they did to the Klingons and making out retaining their own culture to be evil. I can appreciate that. I can very much appreciate that. I think a lot of the reason that they went down the storyline that they did is because culture and what culture means is for some strange reason really contentious at the moment, isn't it? So they wanted to approach a contentious storyline.
Well, Star Trek is always try to be politically relevant.
Oh, that ain't right. There we are. It has tried to be politically relevant. I'm not sure that they're going about it in the right way because they're trying to put across a message that isn't necessarily shared by a lot of people, and I think that
Especially
might cause
Star Trek.
yes, and that might cause more problems than it creates. Like the whole one of the fundamental tenets of Trek was allowing people to choose to either
choose your pain.
yes, that too, but allowing people to choose to become part of the Federation or not, based on what they wanted to do, and kind of like anything to do with pushing a particular ideology is something that I don't think the Federation would have done.
It's the antithesis of the Federation,
It
isn't
is, yeah. So
Am I using that word right?
no, you are using it perfectly well.
You see, people, I'm not a native.
At present, I've got a couple of moderators already, Cryptic, and I don't think I need any more at the moment, just by virtue of the fact that effectively there's not enough trouble caused in my streams to justify it.
Hold up. Hold my beer.
Hold my beer. So, where did you get to on your favourite Star Trek?
Oh yes, I was talking about that, wasn't I?
Draconian's getting enraged because somebody at work has just asked how they add an email signature. Is that on Outlook? I'll run them through it.
Yeah, I can do that as well. It's easy. I've had a person come back at work for that today, actually. Lovely woman.
Yeah, but
she's being friendly.
What was the ship in Armada that fired? It was the Romulan long-range torpedo one.
That's the Raptor.
Oh, that was good as well.
Yeah.
Raptor.
You're the Raptor.
Raptor.
Fire the torpedoes yonder.
I'll keel haul you in an aviator.
Thank you very much for your comment above, Master Chief. That's really kind of you.
Well, the favourite Romulan ship, I'd have to go, if we're going with video games, I'm going to have to go for the Griffin. No, wait, I really like the Heavy Defender. I love that ship. I don't know why. It just
It's
screams...
got that TMP vibe as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, to me that screams like that's the ship that attacked the Enterprise C at Narendra, you know?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I don't like. That stupid ship from Dominion Wars, that Federation one. And it's not just
Achilles.
The bloody Achilles. What a ridiculous... Ugh.
I never liked that.
And it's not just because it killed the Hutet.
You know who has a hard-on for that ship, right? It's one of our old team members.
Bane?
No, old team members.
Old team members. I mean, we're all pretty old.
Phoenix loves that ship.
Oh, does Nix love it, does he? Oh, Nix, what are you doing?
That's not a nice looking ship.
Aurelia says, the Heavy Defender is a really great ship. I learned to really like it when I played Star Trek Legacy. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's one of the better designs that came out of Legacy.
How's everyone liking the music, by the way? I've kind of, it's been pretty chill so far. Is everybody happy with music like this? I know you can't hear it.
I'm listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers. So
oh, nice. What a great band.
If we're talking about ships from games that I don't like, the Aegean from Armada.
Yeah, see, I agree with you there until a certain point, because I found out what it was based on.
What was it based on?
It was a really cool design. I'll look it up in a minute, because John Eves posted this, and it's obvious. Basically, they based it off of one of the unused First Contact designs, and if you look at the sketch, it's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. But then...
I think the poly count of Armada didn't do them any justice, because the Iwo Jima looks weird as well, but I think it could be quite cool.
Jarrell says, I love Starbug. Starbug is a ship from Red Dwarf.
It's better than Blue Midget.
I see, Hobbs.
That was hideous.
It was based on, I need to find a sketch by Johnny, because basically this is the design. But it's basically, yeah, there we go. Visit.
I don't hate that.
No, that
he
looks
posted
cool.
some stuff from First Contact, like some of the mesh stuff.
Nice.
Which has been a very good reference for certain ships. Like this is one of the ships that didn't make it. I'm glad it didn't.
It's interesting though, isn't it?
Isn't that like
sketches?
Development
This
of
is
the
the
Saber?
design. Let me just get it in the original resolution because gotta love John Eves posting it in proper res. This is the design which they based the Aegean on.
Do you see the things on the nacelles there? Oh, sorry, on the pylons. I think that was referenced, I suspect, by one of the designers of the first image that you saw of the Connie in Discovery.
I was worried they were hinges.
Yes, but I think that's what it's a reference to. I don't know, but
I doubt it because this is a sketch that's been around. But what I like about this is if you look at it's got something. If you look at this, it seems like it's got a dual deflector with like a thing in the side. And
yeah.
I really like this, and so they really punked it up for Armada. Gotta love John Eves'
I think one of the definitions of a good Star Trek ship is that it needs to look equally as cool from all directions. Like there are some Star Trek ships that look great from, like, say, a ventral view.
Gotta love John Eves' work. John Eves does a lot of pin-up photography as well, and it's really nice.
Is that John Eves? Because he's looking great for his age.
That's not John Eves, but he's done.
Joanna Eves.
He's also posted a lot of pictures of like studio models.
Oh, nice!
That's
Hobbs, cool.
You might want these.
Yeah, my O-Burst's nearly done, to be honest.
Find anything else?
The Defiant is the best ship out there, says Master Chief. Great ship.
I do like, as the hero ship goes, it's great.
Ben and Jarrell both say they really like the Vulcan ships from ENT.
Yes, I love those too. Like, there's a lot of Enterprise.
Why can I see Gull as the last human alive with Max as a hologram of his friend?
Oh, could you imagine?
Max is definitely my rimmer. I agree.
Buddy, I mean, I love a friendship, but I'm not going to rim you. There are certain lines I won't cross. I mean, it's not that I don't find you attractive, but I mean, don't swing that way, buddy. Sorry.
Oh, dear.
Don't hurt your feelings.
The Aegean has a long shuttle bay. What do you think is the most unique design in Star Trek?
The USS Trieste.
From a Federation, yes. From a Federation standpoint.
Federation.
Federation.
The Federation.
Oh, I've had half a beer, guys. I can't talk anymore. It's happened. I don't know. I mean, I almost want to say the Dauntless, even though it wasn't a Federation design, really.
I've got something for you in a minute. It's a ship that was luckily only shown in the background and never made a proper on-screen debut.
It's not the Jaeger.
And now, no. This is beyond the Jaeger. This is beyond the Elkins.
Is it the one that was made with like an F-15 fighter jet or something?
No. That's the USS Elkins. This one's bad.
Yes, the Elkins is very bad. I do not like it at all.
This one's bad. It's built out of an F-15 Tomcat. It mixes Intrepid. Hey, look, that's my model of it that I built one day.
Runabout wings on it.
Yeah. There's one which is worse than this.
Go on.
The USS Trieste. I need to. There we go.
What's happening there? What's happening there?
It's got an ion cannon on its bridge.
So it has.
Fire giant boob nipple gun. Also, they were using some very creative registries for the background ships in DS9, including the USS Excel.
Nice. What is that Excelsior thing with the nacelles?
Which one?
Excelsior Ambassador.
Where, this?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just some guy's thing that he made himself.
No, but I've seen that in something before.
It's supposed to be the
like the Niagara.
It's supposed to be the Niagara, isn't it? But it looks like it's had far too many, lunches.
But yeah, this is. I think this is the most odd.
It is unusual, definitely.
Good God, man, get that ugly ship out of here, says Master Chief.
Mind you like things that I really don't like. I hate the Freedom class.
I don't hate it. I don't love it particularly, but
I like the one
Max,
you
can I
showed
make
me,
a suggestion?
Freedom, where it has like the little.
What do you want?
You see the ship's bumhole?
It's not finished yet, but yes.
I was going to say perhaps doing those green inlights.
I can't because Hobbs didn't add a proper section to it.
Oh, he didn't add a flat. Okay.
What? I'll remodel it. Hold on.
No, I'll end you.
2 seconds, guys.
Hey, guys.
Right. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask, either about the mod or, as I say, about Star Trek in general? We could even go as far as Star Wars if you like. We're all fans.
What's your favourite Star Wars ship?
Oh my.
For the Rebel Alliance.
B-wing.
Alright, what's your favourite capital ship?
The
Canon and
Millennium
Legends.
Falcon.
Nebulon B2.
Nebulon B2. Which version?
Wait. The V-wing version.
One. Mine is the Assault Frigate Mark 1.
That's an interesting one because it's got a much more aggressive head profile, hasn't it, than any of the other vessels of that type.
Mine's the. Was it?
And
Laser?
I really like. Where is it? It's close to this
Hey,
version.
Graham, how are you?
There's a bit bulkier version from that. Where is it? This one's pretty cool, this take. I'm looking for a very particular version, which is a bit more bulbous.
Bulbous. I do like the Candozi as well.
And the Victory one. It's my favourite.
I'm a bit of a fan. God, who was the... I think Warb Null did a really good Candozi, didn't he?
Yeah, I really like this take of the Assault Frigate Mark 1.
Oh, that's interesting.
I like the size.
I don't think I've seen that one before.
There's a Romulan Empire war which uses it. I mean, there's this version as well, which is also not bad.
That looks like a strange love child of the Assault Frigate and a B2.
It's basically kind of how it was described in canon.
Okay.
I don't like the Assault Frigate Mark II though. It's
Oh, this ship is one that I've seen recently. You see purple background towards the right. Sorry, more or less in the middle, right at the top. That one. To the right one. Yeah.
Nebulon C.
Yeah, really interesting, that design. I don't necessarily think it fits, but I do think it's a beautiful design and it's really well done.
It's very Mass Effect.
Sorry, Graham Blair, we already answered that question earlier tonight.
What was the question?
Our thoughts on the Disco Season 2 trailer.
Yeah, we weren't massive fans. There's Nebula.
I do like this ship from the Last Jedi ship. Last Jedi. Same thing with the new Corvette from the Last Jedi. That was good as well.
Yes, we weren't hugely taken with it. I think I'll probably still watch the season anyway because, I already pay for Netflix. But that's one of the joys of being in Europe. I think in the US it's a bit more difficult for you all, isn't it?
I do like this take on the Nebulon, the Assault Frigate Mark II because it makes the engines look more realistic.
Mandalorian Candozi. Yeah. Can you find Warp Null's model of it? Or images of Warp Null's model, Max?
Well, actually, I was going to go back to text string just now.
I'll tell you what, you do that. I'll look for it. Oh, there you go. They're more or less the first images you see. This is the Candozi, folks. I'm sure you all know what it is. I don't really like this view of it very much because I think it's too squashed. I think it needs to be a bit longer. But when you see it from viewpoints like this, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. High Guard ships are very nice. Isn't that from Andromeda? I can understand that, Crafty Dog. I mean, as I say, it's a little bit different for us in Europe because we we already have Netflix, most of us, or a lot of us already have Netflix, and therefore we can just watch it on a whim without paying any extra than something we were already paying for. So it's kind of fine for us to watch it because it doesn't necessarily enrich CBS specifically, and it doesn't encourage them to do something that the fans don't necessarily like too much. Whereas CBS All Access in the US, I think there's a very legitimate.
I wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah, I think there's a very legitimate reason to say maybe I don't want to pay for this because this isn't what I envisioned as Star Trek. Hey, Khan, how are you? You haven't missed too much. No, we've just been chatting and watching Max UV Unwrap and Texture mainly. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Hobbs is going to have something to show us at some point.
I'm getting somewhere. It's just very fiddly at the moment. It looks like a jumbled mess at the moment, but you might be able to see where I'm trying to get to with it.
I can if you like. You just tell me when you're ready, and then we'll hop over to your screen whenever. The Gelf raiding party.
You can have a look now.
Okay.
If you're ready.
I'm always ready for you, Hobbs. You know that. That sounded a bit weirder than I intended it to. There we go. So you're looking to push things right a little bit further in some instances.
Yeah, so this pane, basically there's two panes here. There's one which is the content of the
Oh, so you need to push the
menus.
content further right.
Yeah,
I see.
and then there's the buttons, which is a separate window. But what I found out is that this background image I've set is linked to the content of the bigger pane. So if I move this right, I move the whole background right with it. So I think I'm going to have to do two backgrounds, one that's linked to the content and one that's linked as a button background.
Yeah, that's precisely what I was saying, Crafty Dog. I said, for people in the US, it's a little bit of a different proposition because you have to pay extra. In Europe, we don't. Go, we all know you intended for it to sound that weird. Well, maybe. Mind you, I think given that Hobbs has recently got married, I'm probably barking up the wrong tree there. So, what do the other menus look like at the moment? Are they still?
They're all basically.
Of course, it's got its own text box, hasn't it? So.
Yeah, so these where you can see we're on the sound menu at the moment, which is weird because these should be lit up for which one is selected, and they're not either, which is interesting as well. But anyway,
that's because I think there's an overlay specifically for when they're lit up.
But basically, where this line is, this is the edge of this pane. I can't click these buttons this side of that.
Okay.
Because it's one over the top of the other. So
you can change the area of them, can't you, as well?
Yeah.
Which of course changes the overall position of them, because if you change the area, what then happens is you had it centered to 0. 0 is now in a different position, so it moves the whole damn thing. It's very annoying.
Yep. It's like a chicken and egg kind
of
situation.
It is. It very much is. And you have to kind of expect. What I tend to do is I keep the text box open, and then I mess around with it until it feels right to me.
Yeah, see, I can move this content to the right, but because the background is linked to just this pane, not the other one.
I think there's a way that you can change that somewhat.
Yeah, it depends on the menu as well, because some are coded slightly differently.
They are.
So you can kind of offset the content to the background, but this one doesn't have that option as far as I can see, but I'm still...
That's interesting.
I'm trying to...
Spring says, can you do a gameplay of Dawn of War? Do you mean the original Dawn of War, or...? I wouldn't really mind doing the original Dawn of War, perhaps with Ultimate Apocalypse mod on. Bane with Sparehead number 3. Isn't Sparehead number 3 the one with, like, rickets or something? It's like, where you play back? Marshall Eagle class colony ship. And now Disney's trying to jump on the streaming bandwagon, which will mean more stuff that you'll have to pay for. Interesting.
Didn't know this? I knew this.
Oh yeah, I did know this actually. Yeah, Disney's coming out with its own streaming service over the next year or two. I'm not sorry about my phrasing. I'm not going to change it. I can see what Master Chief has said there, but I'm not going to repeat it because, as you can imagine, being the person who is streaming this, I wouldn't necessarily be able to support what he's saying. But I do think perhaps people in the USA should read it. So well done, Master Chief.
You know, you don't really need to use the Tor browser for that. I'm watching it from the same that's.se, and you don't need Tor network. It's basically everything. It's fine. It's great.
I want to say la 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 and put my fingers in my ears.
I'm not saying what it is.
Graham says, is there any news on the alien repair station from Dead Stop that you were thinking about?
Yes, but we haven't built it yet.
Yeah, we're still thinking
We like it. We like the idea of it, but we haven't built it.
Well, we've had capturable stations in STA3, and perhaps that's the route we're going to go down, maybe. I don't believe Master Chief is talking about torrents here. No, I don't think he is.
No. It's also not necessary to go to the deep web in order to go to that website. It's just a regular website. Nothing illegal about the website. Well, I mean, there's nothing illegal about watching the website. Let's put it at that.
Draconian, I'm not allowed to do a Need for Speed stream because
Are you not allowed to do?
Being a typical little white boy, what tends to happen is the music in Need for Speed comes on, and then I think I'm pretty gangster as soon as that music comes on.
Well, you are pretty damn gangster, so sing it.
Thank you. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. I really like Need for Speed Underground, the original one. It was great.
Boom, boom, boom.
Wow, wow, wow. So good. Such good music. I love that song.
Hey, go.
Yes, dear?
Look at me screen.
I'm on your screen.
No, you're not.
Oh, no, I'm on Hobbs's. Oh, God, what have you done? Ooh.
That's nice.
It's looking good, my man. Now put it in game.
Nope, it's not done yet.
Put it in game.
Gotta still do some light map baking.
Oh, cool.
On the engines, are those bits meant to line up?
What? No.
Okay. Didn't know if it was those phaser strips all over again.
Let's not talk about those damn phaser strips again, shall we? I don't like what you're doing with it. I thought we just got a rapport going, and then you bring up that sort of stuff again. What is wrong with you? You should be ashamed of yourself.
Nah, no.
I think I'm gonna have a conversation with your wife about this kind of behavior.
Yeah, I think.
Girl, why have you got to be so basic? It's just in my nature.
He's a basic bitch.
Frickin' nerd. Centurion says a Disney streaming service can be considered a violation of antitrust law. No, it can't. Disney got into trouble with the same laws when it tried to own its own means of distribution before. That was because it was trying to. I believe that was because it was trying to assert a monopoly, and I don't think that would be the case in this instance. That's for the same. It's the same reason that a single communications company can't own the whole communications industry in the UK.
Yeah, and in the US, it's kind of weird though, because it's literally kind of how it is. We've got these kind of non-compete agreements where they don't, where certain providers don't supply in certain areas.
Now the US laws are quite interesting.
By interesting, do you mean stupid?
Having said that, I mean, like, it appears that the current system is probably encouraging monopolies to occur, as opposed to discouraging them, which it's intended to.
Go. Spotlights.
I like it.
Right, so now let's do a nice little light map bake.
Well, Disney's a business like any other Master Chief. I wouldn't necessarily say they suck. It's just it's the way to do it. It's an off-duty. It's a small off-duty Czechoslovakian traffic warden draconian.
Hold up.
It's a banana, sir.
It's a banana.
But now I've got to turn off the AO in the layer for this.
It's a banana. It always will be a
It's
banana.
the Bolivian
it's
Navy.
Never gonna be a banana.
And now what I've got to do is I've got to change some of the global illumination settings so I have to get a nice
Lie mode
It's
activated.
a small yellow fruit you unzip and eat it inside.
5 times multipliers, alright?
People from the US are going to be like, what on earth are they talking about?
And now I have no idea.
Red Dwarf.
I have no idea what you're talking about
Watch
either.
it now. You need to watch it, Max. It's
We're
comedy
talking
gold.
about a mid-90s comedy show.
I've seen a bit of Red Dwarf. Now basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to render a complete map, which is basically the entire texture, but it's dark, and all it's got is like...
Star Trek
like-
Legacy had ENT era Borg. Any plans for that in this mod? No.
Nope.
That isn't something that we intend, I'm afraid
No.
to say.
Render time!
We just don't think it's going to fit with what we want to do.
Muffin button. Oh wait! Oh, I'm an idiot. Cancel.
Well, I could have told you that.
I mean, in order to render a light map, I've got to assign the
You've got to
light
have
map
lights,
to the
yeah.
ship.
He's so smart.
Max, you should put words on the doors. No, don't encourage him to do that.
No.
I suppose Romulan symbology could be on there, but
No.
Rihatsu, is it?
See, there we go. Now it's doing C. Oh, I see that. Oh, that's nice. It can be a
Take
bit
us to
more.
Red Alert. Are you sure,
Jeez,
sir?
Jeebus, you're all old as French Connection, and I already knew that. Just you don't really need to show your age that much. Why not? I'm not embarrassed about my age. I'm quite pleased about it because I've survived.
Who
this
said that?
Kralter.
Kralter's just probably one of those millennials.
We're all millennials, I'm afraid to say.
Shh! Draconian, I have seen bits of Red Dwarf. I have just not seen the entire...
Yeah, I think I learned the other day that the millennial generation started in something like 1981, didn't it?
The millennial as a generation is the generation that came of age, like adolescence, in the 2000s. So we're like an adult in the 2000s, not people who were born in 2000, which is a lot.
Yeah, that's right. So I think it's like, isn't it
There's a
1981 or
generation
1983
after
onwards? We are millennials. Great.
Jesus. It's going to be 38 degrees in parts of this country tomorrow.
But just remember, it's hotter somewhere else.
Yeah, because that makes things more comfortable.
It's like one of those things, isn't it? If a person is suffering from depression...
This is one of those days!
If a person is suffering from depression, the best possible thing that you can do is tell them that somebody else is suffering from worse depression somewhere else. That really helps them.
I thought telling him to cheer up was so,
That's the same as telling angry people, just, you need to relax.
yeah, calm down.
Her name was Noelle.
Is being born in 2002 considered being a millennial? I don't think it is. I think
Means
there's-
you're a child.
There's one after millennials.
Yeah.
Generation Z or
Generation
something.
useless.
Well, they haven't really had the chance to
Being
be
born
useful yet.
when? Sorry. 2002. Oh, that makes me feel old.
Will Federation have pulse cannons as seen in Axnar? Yes, Graham.
Already in game.
They are already in game.
They may already be in game.
I've got the feeling that Draconium is like this really old, gruffy guy, like, you know, from like the Duck Dynasty. Just sitting
Draconian
his
is in
chair
fact
angrily.
74.
What?
He's not really.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised these days. I saw like, like back when that Pokemon Go came out, like all of us at work were playing it.
Well, you know Carlos No Pants, who I play games with sometimes. He's in his late 40s.
And there was this one guy who was basically, he could have been my grandpa, and he was playing Pokemon.
Well, why not, eh?
This render takes a while, by the way.
Hitler telling angry gamers to calm down. I imagine that would work out well.
You can do an imitation of that.
No. Well, I've none of your German. I'm just going to drink some more beer.
See, now it's just done computing the final render points, then it's going to render the final render points. It's baking.
MC-30 is a cool ship.
I like the MC-70 though, the profundity.
I know not enough about Star Wars to know what you're talking about.
It's that ship from Rogue One. The one with not Admiral Akbar, but the other guy who's probably his uncle.
I like the Quasar.
That Star Destroyer is disabled.
It's a trap.
I'm sorry, Draconian. I'm sorry. I'm evil for calling him 76. Yes, I do. I do know Draconian is 36. Everyone calm down.
Damn, Draconian, you old.
All right, he's only a couple of years older than me.
You old too.
Oh yeah. This beer's going down quite well. It's a good thing I got some more.
Must be so nice for you.
Haven't you got your own?
No, I'm out there.
Oh man.
Of course we have.
Yes, Gerard.
Of course,
Yeah,
Gerald.
we've
There's
seen
so
those.
many.
I'm glad, Master.
You all know the originals. The very first edit of that, where Hitler gets banned from Xbox Live.
I believe I've just been called a lady.
You are
I have
quite
some.
sexy lady.
I have some. I do have a lovely pair of Norks.
Right, so now what I've done is I've rendered or baked the self-illumination map, and I just need to find it was called the Frig. Right, map baked. Now you can see here that there's some lighting going on there and some funky stuff there. Now what I'm gonna do, slap that in there. Linear dodge add.
Thanks, Master Chief. You're a good egg.
This thing is I need to just turn off the spotlights because they're no longer necessary. Doesn't do much, but you can see like a little bit of stuff like that, and like the glow of the nacelle is on that bit.
I think this is actually really important to the work. Because
Also adds a little glow to the.
I think it adds a layer of quality that wouldn't otherwise be there, which is really nice. And it's particularly noticeable on a darker background. So when this is in-game, you'll notice it a lot more. Why have I got to make the weird jokes weirder? That's the man I am. Draconian would like to know if you need your nappy changing, Max, because you're that young.
Depends how far you're willing to go with that chalk powder.
Oh, Gordon Bennett.
How old are you, Max? Are we the same age?
I'm 27.
Max is our youth.
I'm
What are you again,
28.
Hobbs? Turning 28 this year, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, in April, so.
I think Connor's the youngest of our group, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the Barbie.
Master Chief, I can handle you. Bring it.
I hope you mean lickety split. Lickety split just sounds wrong, Jarrell.
I like lickety slit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Did it yesterday.
Freudian slips.
Are you talking about becoming an officer? Thank God for that.
I did have my German helmet on.
The longer our streams go on, the weirder they get, I swear.
How not to get demonetized, but still talking dirty. An introductory guide with Golden Cut.
Oh my.
Right, Charlie,
done.
let's go back to my screen for a sec.
I'd love to go back to your screen and look at the work. Okay, Max, that's lovely. Okay, Hobbs.
Teal powder.
What's all this about, Hobbs?
I like to cough
I
teal
got it
powder.
in two halves.
Very good. I like that a lot.
Redraw it all.
Does it work on all menus at the minute, or? Okay, so now all we need to do is get watch, record, network, save and quit in the same button style, and then I think we're good to
Yeah,
we can
I
sign
might
off on
have
that.
to extend the background a bit to fit the close buttoning because there's a lot more buttons here than.
Oh, there's a save button there on the right that you might need to look at as well.
Yeah. So a lot of these are menus I've not looked at before. So.
Is there a pop-up when you press quit? So those buttons as well.
Yeah.
But don't those need to be in the...
Hobbs, Master Chief has got a question specifically for you. Oh my, that looks interesting.
Yeah, this all needs looking at as well. Master Chief.
Go ahead, Master Chief. Ask the question.
Is this on Twitch?
He's got a question about your buttons.
It's on Twitch. He's got a question about your buttons. Go ahead, Master Chief, and I'll relay it to him.
You read it out.
It's like, are your buttons easy to push?
Note to self: stop moaning about being 22. Absolutely, Graham.
Oh yeah, just
definitely stop moaning. It's a good time in your life. At least it should be.
And it's gonna go by really, really fast. And everybody says that, and then people call you old, but then you become old and you realize, oh god, they were telling the truth. Oh god, what did I do with those years?
Do you think you'd survive? I don't know what boot camp spring is. I must admit, Krolter, but would I survive military boot camp?
No.
I think I'd struggle from a fitness perspective. I think.
And height.
No, I don't think a height would be an issue. But I do think I'd struggle from a fitness perspective at this point because I'm relatively unfit. However, I do think I would be able to obey orders quite well because I'm quite well conditioned in that regard. I just, you know.
Now let's prep these textures for the game. Dun, 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 dun.
Right, what was this button question?
I tried to move my bottom bar buttons and I lost all their functions. That's probably because you didn't also move the area that they're effective, Master Chief.
Yep. That's in tip dev mode.
Yeah, if you pop into dev mode, in fact, since you're already in dev mode, Hobbs, why don't you show?
Yeah, which one?
Show the poor man.
Uh,
Yes, it can, but only on medium difficulty, Mr. Dalek.
So if you go into dev mode and go to Windows, and then number A, it's show window areas. So this is the outline of every element in the UI. If you move the button out of what you've designated this box as, it doesn't function, which is the problem I was having with these when this window was over the top, because it was taking my button clicks and registering it in the other box, so it couldn't see underneath.
It didn't understand where the actual buttons were.
Exactly. So you can actually see with my buttons, to make the spacing, to make it seem that there's a gap, I've actually made the button box bigger than the actual icon is. But because it's by such a small amount, you're not actually going to be, it's not going to affect where you're clicking, but it affects the space between the buttons, if you see what I mean.
There we go, Master Chief. If you struggle, Master Chief, contact one of us. You've probably got most of us on Steam or Discord. Contact one of us. We can always go into a call with you. You can share your screen with us, and we can talk you through it. If you're really having a hard time, I support anybody who's trying to mod sins. I really do.
If you have a problem and no one else can help, and if you can find him, maybe you can hire.
I wish I had a Kazuro now.
Stellar Parallax D. And it's just like a phaser.
Yeah, it's just Galaxy classes flipping.
No, it's just Miranda's getting smashed.
So you're Hannibal because you're the lead. Gull, you've got to be Mr. T.
No. Gull's not Mr. T. Gull's H.M. Murdoch. You can say what you want.
Oh, he's Lieutenant Barclay.
I'm cool with that.
Bane is Mr. No, Connor is Mr. T. You're Face Man.
Face Man.
The reason why
I think Connor would be a very different kind of Mr. T, though, wouldn't he? He'd be like,
I ain't making no icons, Hannibal.
What do you think, Mr. Connor? I pity myself.
I pity Pity the fool who makes research icons.
Okay, you sent Max and myself a message on Steam. I'll take a look at that once I get off this stream. No problem at all. I'm flying no plane.
Like I said, I'm making no icons, Hannibal.
Coulter says, I'm now singing the theme to the A-Team myself in my room. Good job, guys. Okay, Hobbs, getting back to the buttons. Master Chief has more questions of Doom.
Oh, go on.
Mostly of Doom. Yes, I've noticed that earlier, so it looks quite interesting, doesn't it? Well, this is just saying they added jackhammers to Rust.
It's not relevant to this conversation, buddy.
It's, as I say, I make an effort to answer anybody who decides that they want to talk with me. That's jibber jabber. So let's very quickly see what Max is up to while Hobbsy's doing his thing.
Exporting.
On Discord, that's no problem. I will take a look once we're off stream. Master Chief would like you to continue where you left off, Hobbs, talking about those buttons. In fact, if I go back to your screen for a moment... Oh, something just went crazy. Oh, I was looking at my own screen, that's why.
You're in the eternal abyss of your own screen.
I very much was. If you wouldn't mind bringing the notepad document that you're changing things over into the active screen, just so... Okay, so in order to change the location of the button surround, would you like to pick a particular button and show?
Sure. So,
Better
turn show window areas back on as well, just so we can see it in action.
S Max at moment is done. Time to go to the side.
So let's choose an easy one.
These are all in the window file, Master Chief, as I'm sure you know because you've moved the buttons. I love it when a mod comes together, says Draconian. Yes!
Also, Hannibal tends to be in all kinds of disguises. Well, I tend to pretend to be somebody other type of crazy person every other day, don't I? Can you imagine Hannibal disguised as Gowron?
Let's have a look at the load button.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at the load game button here.
I'm not just any Cardassian.
So if we have
Lang,
a look...
WM Lang 57, thank you so much for following the stream. And sorry, continue, please, Hobbs. I'll be quiet for a minute.
So if we have a look at this tick button here, this is basically the button that once you selected your save game, click that and it will load the save. At the moment, you can see the rectangle is a lot bigger than the button. That's because it's still the designated size of the stock button that was originally here, and we've changed the icon to look slightly different. So we've used the alpha channel to around the edge, and it's just centered what I've now given the icon, which is this single player setup screen play new game button. That's the icon, because that's an icon, a tick icon that I've used in the single player, and it saves having to make a new texture and a new brush for it if we can just reuse the same ones over and over. I've got a fake string called UI empty text, which is basically an empty string. So a string is a piece of text. So everything from the descriptions to things, the names of buttons, everything is in one big massive string file. So this is actually an empty entry, because if I leave this section blank, Sid's moans at me and shouts at me horribly. Whereas if I leave the overlay and underlay textures empty, it seems to be fine with that. So, swings and roundabouts. So basically at the moment, these four coordinate numbers here make up the shape of this icon. So the 520 is the width location of the button on the screen. So that's 520 pixels to the right of where this window begins. So it's not from the screen edge,
It's from the white box.
Yeah, where this designated area is. Then the 561 is the height from the top. So this basically starts in the top left corner of that window. And then the 220 by the 46 is the shape of the button, clickable area. So at the moment, because it's still on 220, it's a lot wider than its tool. It's only set on 46. Now, if these numbers are smaller than the actual button, you'd have to click in that very specific place underneath the button to know exactly where you're clicking.
Or indeed, if they're in a different area, clicking on the button would have no effect.
Yeah, you could have this red box over here, and you could click that all you want, and it's not going to do anything, because as far as the game's concerned, you need to click over here. So if I change this to a 6 and save, it should move itself over in a minute. There you go. See, it's dropped down because I moved it by 100 pixels down.
Now, do bear in mind that anywhere that you put this button in first instance, it needs to be with it. You see that surrounding white box, Master Chief? That's the one. Hobbs is just designating it for us now. It still needs to stay within that white box. If it's outside of it, it's not going to work.
So if I move it over here, outside this white box, hopefully if I click on it, it won't work.
If you click on the outside, it won't work. If you click on the inside, however, where it's still designated to the left, that would work.
So if I clicked here, it would load this save game, but because this this section of the button is outside this surround, it's not going to like it. Now you can of course change the size of this surround, but that's designated in a different bit of the code of that file.
We think it's often a bad idea to change the size of that surround by virtue of the fact that the surround as it is, it's coded to I suppose a very generalized screen size, so you can use it with 1366, you can use it with 1920 by 1080, you can even use it with a 1076 screen or something like that.
Yeah, so if I turn this into window mode and shrink it down, this is now 1024 by 768, and everything's still viewable. It's a bit bunched up now, but you can still see everything, whereas if you make this bigger, then people with smaller screens, these buttons and stuff will disappear off. So I can't even see that tick box at all anymore.
And that's why we try and keep it within a certain frame reference, just to make sure that we're accommodating people with smaller screens. And we could make everything 1920 by 1080, but it wouldn't work for people with laptops properly. It wouldn't look as good. It's okay, Master Chief. That's what we're here for. Like part of the reason that we share our modding streams is so people can ask questions like this. Jarrell says, did you know that the actor who played the first officer on the USS Odyssey in DS9, oh my, he was convicted of murder recently? I didn't know that at all. I thought this was going to be a wonderful little anecdote, but Jarrell has once again bucked my expectations.
Oh, that escalated quickly.
It did. Okay, so what's your next move with that? Are you going to make the width of that button press a little bit smaller in order to make sure that... Oh, you've already done it. I'll shut up.
Yeah, so basically I copy these numbers from the brush file where I designated that this button was this texture
64 pixels by 55.
Yep. So it's added a bit extra on, but I think that's because that includes the glow around when you hover over it.
Yes, I would imagine so.
Either that or a drop shadow or something like that, but for the sake of this menu, it doesn't matter that it's slightly bigger because there's nothing around it that's going to bump into it. If someone's going to go click that button, then it doesn't matter that they can be slightly outside of it.
Excelente.
I mean, if I was really pedantic, I could screenshot this, go into Photoshop, and actually count the exact literal pixels.
I often do it by trial and error. Well, that's terrible, Jarrell. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the hardest thing about modding Sins. I genuinely do. I think modding the UI is
time consuming.
Like from a code perspective anyway, not from a visual perspective, because modeling is hard, texturing is hard, that stuff's all alien to me anyway, so I just can't do it. Well, limited success when it comes to textures, but modeling I certainly can't do. I think coding the UI has been far more difficult than inputting research, making ships do what you want them to do, adding abilities. All of that is, to quote a British phrase, it's a piece of piss. Which means it's very, very easy. Got to hop up a couple of pixels there, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why this one's slightly off kilter.
It's alright, you can just put the start position, Y position a little bit, say 560.
Yeah, but I think this is going to move the whole thing, isn't it?
Let's have a look. It did move the whole thing, that's irritating.
Again, I mean...
It's very marginal though, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
that isn't going to cause a problem from gameplay.
It's definitely not game breaking, but it might be the hover over. You see when I hover over it, it goes perfectly into that.
It does, you're quite right.
It might be... Basically, there's another setting in another file that you can designate how much the button moves when you hover over, which is to kind of simulate, make it a bit more noticeable that you're hovering over it, and all buttons...
oh, thank you, Master Chief. That's really lovely of you.
To that same bit of code. So you could put that to 0, and then when you hover over, the only noticeable change would be your button state, because you have different states. You have a normal, hover over, a click, a disabled, things like that. So
I don't know if anybody knows, actually. Incidentally, I should probably mention that Master Chief's working on a mod for Sins as well, which is Star Trek based. I think it's mainly TMP, isn't it, Master Chief? I don't mind you name dropping in here so people can have a look on ModDB if you've got if you've got the pictures up there. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, is it Yesterday's Past? I can't remember.
I think it is. Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it. I know I keep looking at TMP ships on it.
Some nice models from Star Trek Legacy. Run frigate. It's done. It's done. It's done.
Well, I'll tell you what, Master Chief, if you want me to pop it into the chat so people can have a look themselves, why don't you send me a message on Discord with a link to your ModDB, and then I'll just I'll flop it into the chat.
Flop it in.
Flop it in.
That's a very technical term.
It is.
Right, I think I might have to call it a night soon, guys.
Well, just give me just a minute.
Just a minute,
god damn it! If you were to gaze your eyes towards my screen...
I'm just going to find Gary's mod first. Gary's mod. Hey.
Why are you playing Gary's mod for?
Huh? I don't mean Gary. Master Chief is called Gary. I hope you don't mind me saying that.
Now we all know.
There you go.
Oh my god, Tony Chocolonely have now a unique sort of event going on where some of their bars contain a golden ticket.
Is it to Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory? Because I'm up for that.
Because I've got a golden ticket. I've got a golden chance to make my... The Romulans do have this weird random crash from time to time.
It might be something to do with the fact that we haven't organised any of the Titans yet. But I'll check through the logs. If there is a random Romulan crash, I'm sure I'll be able to sort it out. Perhaps it's searching for something that doesn't exist any longer.
I'm thinking that there's a process explorer thingy that we need to do.
Or a buff in there that doesn't exist any longer. Probably one of the two.
You can get a minute of free shopping.
Did you know that the current King of Jordan, King Abdullah, actually starred in an episode of Voyager? I did not know that.
I didn't star. He was a guest.
Yeah, he was in. He was just a Voyager crewman, wasn't he?
Mhm.
Because wasn't Seth MacFarlane on Enterprise as well?
Yep. He was actually on a couple of times. One of the engineering extras.
God, why does it take like so long to load? Oh my god.
Yeah, what's with the earbud thing? Carlton, I didn't really understand the question, so I didn't respond to it. What do I have a preferable ear to put an earbud into? No. It depends on what's convenient at the time and which pocket the iPod is in.
There we go.
Ah, lovely. Well, as always, if you keep it still for a couple of seconds, that'll resolve the resolution a little bit better. Looking good, my man.
Just move it slightly. Oh.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Do you want to pop it next to another Romulan ship as well, just for a size reference? Oh, we've got a lot to do for the Romulans, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's if you take it next to a vulture, they've basically got the same space frame.
Nice.
I got you. Did you rationalise their size based on their
Yes.
little warp engine bits?
No, I'm rationalized based on their. This command module is almost identical to this one, gilded to that.
Oh yes, I see. Yeah.
I feel like warp nacelles come in. Warp nacelles come in different sizes, but I'm guessing like. I really like this one.
It's really cool, that one, isn't it?
And of course the Star Glider.
Yeah, I mean the Star Glider I like with that wing configuration a lot better than the original.
Yeah, the original kind of goes overboard, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit too.
I really like the capsize as well.
I think we've probably got a new name for that now.
Yeah, not yet. The Vireo is also a really nice one.
Yeah, that was really fun.
They've all worked out well, haven't they? I love those top fins that some of these ships have, like the later variants. I think they're so awesome. In my mind, these are the kind of middle age ships, if you will, like the ones with the funny looking warp nacelles. They're the oldest ships in the fleet, and then you've got the ones with the kind of not flat warp nacelles, with the simple warp nacelles and the fins that are a little bit rounded. They're somewhere in the middle from a lineage point of view, and then the ones that get quite flat, like this, for example, they're the more recent ships because they're a bit more angular. I don't know if that's actually true, but in my mind, that's how it works. You like the post-TNG Romulans yourself? The Valdor, Griffin? Yeah, I can understand that, Sam. You were right first time round, Master Chief. Glider with an eye. I think most of us have got a special place in our heart for the TOS Bird of Prey, haven't we?
Meh.
Meh. Don't give a shit. Top fins were for atmospheric flight. No, that's interesting.
Right, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I think now's as good a time as any to end the stream. We've been going for longer than I anticipated, 2.5 hours. But I hope you've all enjoyed the stream today. I hope.
Let's not forget, by the way, our best capital ship, the Caracara, also known as the Romulan Pleasure Bird.
The Pleasure Bird, indeed. I hope you've all enjoyed things today that we've showed off. I hope you've learned a little bit, and I hope our irreverent conversation has been enjoyable for you all. If you've liked what you've seen, please don't forget to press the subscribe button if you're not already. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed the stream, and indeed comment when this comes out as a VOD if you've got any further questions for us. We do all take a look at these streams and make sure that we answer any questions that we can. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching.
Mambo number 5.
And even bigger thanks to both Hobbs and Max for joining me this evening. Thank you so much, guys.
Hey-o.